We have arrived at the halfway stage of day number 3 here at the PGL Major, Krakow 2017. Time now to move on to our 5th match of the day. We're still in the 1-1 category, right in the mid-tier of our Swiss group stage system, which moves moving on to a match that has massive importance to both teams. It is G2 versus Cloud9. Both have arrived here slightly differently in terms of the results that they've had so far, but in the end it doesn't matter. They've both won 1 and lost 1. Now they're looking for their second match of the tournament itself. We've also changed our panel right now. We've got Moses back alongside Sponge. Good afternoon, gents.
Personally, I'm shocked to be on the desk for a North American match.
It's astounding.
It's surprising
how that happens so often.
I don't get it.
Just how does that work?
I'm just glad I get a chance to be back on the desk to, have a comeback to the 2 old men that were here before me. Yeah. Having a bit of a dig, bit lippy.
I'm still here, mate. I'm still here.
What did they say about you?
They just thought my style of Counter-Strike was pretty sporadic.
Listen, we can get into that.
Right now. We can get into that, and you can have some retribution. But let's talk about G2 first. Kenny and the boys here. What do you make of their performances so far?
I mean, to me, both these teams are going to be similar. I think in the sense that their performance have been up and down, right? Like there's the really good showings that we see out of them, and then the kind of like disappointing ones. Like obviously yesterday they just got absolutely battered, and like that's something you don't expect to see out of a team with this much skill and experience. The way they get worked across the map, and that's kind of the frightening thing. I think. To me, it almost feels like G2 themselves, and because I am as well when I look at this team, is like, who are your players like that you're going to rely on supposed to be? Because when you look at it on paper, when this team was formed, everyone just says, oh, Shox, Kenny, yes, they're finally playing together. This is going to be the duo. Shox isn't that player at the moment in this team. He's taking more of a leadership role.
But he doesn't want to be, does he?
Yeah,
it's a different style.
It's not necessarily because he's bad or anything. Yeah. It just seems like he's focusing on other things within this team. So then when you get to the other ones, Apex, because of his role, is always going to be a little bit up and down. NBK is like, always been that player who gives up spots. He's more of the team-minded. So he's always playing a little bit more of a supportive, passive role. And Body just doesn't seem to be there yet. So you have Kenny, you need more.
Yep.
I think Kenny and the Boys sounds like a band from the 80s, by the way.
It does,
Kenny
a pop band.
And the Boys.
That's the same theme song you made up.
Yeah, it's a great theme song. Anyway, with G2 as a team, right, I completely agree with what Jason's saying about all the players. It just doesn't seem like we have worked out who's going to be the man behind Kenny. It's been up and down recently. Apex has actually had some better performances as of late. You got on the MBK train at the EPL finals. I think they're all definitely...
Nice train.
I think the way that this team's going, they're trying to create, I guess, a new economy meta with taking the full eco on the second and then buying on the third on those T sides. We're seeing them with those Galils a lot more when they're not even getting the bomb down, which is an interesting approach, especially like when the UMPs were at its full strength.
Yeah.
But it's very quick, this transition away from the UMPs, right? We're seeing gun round, second rounds now with 4 Famises and a M4, right? People aren't really taking that risk anymore. So I feel like I want to see them going back to their Force by Tech9 style, right? I like that. I know a lot of people don't.
It fits well with the fact that a lot of teams have been switching over to using a lot of deagles, right, on their when they're force buys. So I mean, naturally, you're going to be at a longer range. The deagles want to take those longer range battles. So the investment into the FAMAS is to kind of battle that a little bit, because if you're at that range of the UMP, you're just kind of useless at this point after the nerf. So
or just take 2 AWPs and 3 pistols. Do it the flip side way. Yeah, no problem at all. Let's move on to their opponents in this particular match. It is, of course, Cloud9. We have a North American on the panel once more. Shock horror. I mean, putting your North American bias aside, as in, like, please don't hurt them and slate them any more than you normally do.
I'll do my best.
Where are they right now? Because I get a feeling that they still feel like they can do well here, having come off the back of a good result in Cologne, and they're still playing well. Yeah,
they absolutely can do well, right? Like, we see what happens, and I mean, this has been just about the team. It's so hard to, like, come up with, like, new kind of ideas about this team, because every time they look like they're going to just kind of crumble, they come up with that great result like we saw in Cologne. Yeah. But, I mean, talking about the positives, when everything's going well for this team, it's designed automatically. Stewie and Automatic are, like, your space makers. They're the creators of this team. The other 3 players on this roster, Shroud, Skirtle, Nothing, can't really create anything. They haven't shown, like, a propensity to do it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does rely on Stewie and Automatic to initiate the action, create space for a guy like Skadoodle to get an angle with the AWP, create space for Nothing to push forward and have those impact kills in the mid round and open up the bomb site. And then Shroud, obviously, I mean, we know his aim. It's precise. It's very mechanic, and you want him in those positions where he can just easily tap away at heads as they come in at like a mid-range type duel. So when it's all working together, when everyone's doing their role, it looks great. It looks cool, but it just doesn't happen all that much.
Vetoes are on their way.
If you want to get matchup specific here, right? Like, let's move away from the threat of the Cloud9, you know, Scooter, he's back, all this kind of stuff. Don't worry about that. Let's talk about the matchup specific here. So last time these two teams met, it was at the PGL Major qualifier. It went 16-11 in favor of G2 on Cache. And then they met before that at the EPL Finals, where Cloud9 actually upset them or surprised them 16-4 on Inferno. So we already have the bans coming in. Nuke's a standard ban. Overpass makes sense. G2 getting rid of Mirage, that's their standard ban. Train being gone, I think, is an interesting one. I know that G2, it's like not like a super strong map for them, but one that I think, you know, versus Cloud9, they might have a decent matchup. So it's going to be between those two maps, right? Inferno and... Oh, no, Cache is gone.
Yeah, Cache...
well, actually, I mean, Cloud9's beat G2 on Inferno twice.
So Cloud9 go with Cobble.
I don't like that.
That's like
I didn't think you would like that.
Map, right? G2's best map.
I was waiting for this because... That's just crazy, isn't it?
That's got to be. I mean, there has to be some level of confidence because I mean, Cloud9's Cobble hasn't looked that great. In fact, they've lost to G2 on it.
I don't mind their Cobble as of late. I think they have like a new understanding for mid round, especially that control of drop room. They're taking it quite well and they're playing off of that very well. My biggest concern comes with their CT side. If they get forced, you know, play that rotation game, I don't think unless Skadul's going to have one of these matches that he's had of late where he stands up and, you know, gets those 3Ks with the AWP, that's where it becomes very difficult. But you have to look back on the two most recent matches, and you know, G2 in that game on Cache, the reason that they got out in front was because they were proactive on the CT side, right? Cobble's not really a map where you can be hugely proactive, so I'm interested to see how the mix is going to go.
Yeah, because I mean that has been G2's like mark when they have very good games. If you think even to overpass, they're very, very aggressive on the CT side. The conversation that other teams always have about them is they're so difficult to play against because they're always willing to take a fight. They're always willing to be aggressive. SK specifically says that about them, that it's one of the toughest teams they go up against when they're in that mode. So I mean, obviously they found some guys. They've found something that works on this map. I mean, in the past, some of the French teams have been so good with like the B bomb site executes of just committing into sites, getting through the smokes, getting through the flashbangs, and just aggressively attacking the bomb site. That's what's made them so strong on a map like this. So, yeah, I have to agree with Chad that the onus is going to be on Cloud9's defense here.
Okay, let's get some more thoughts from Sir Scoots, who's found himself some people with some opinions of their own.
Thank you, Paul. I've only got one people. I got Valens with me. Finally getting a chance to talk to you, man, the coach of Cloud9. First off, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. So let's talk about your boot camp, because I think it's really important to your success. You know, we've talked about for over a decade that North American Counter-Strike has always been behind the Euros for a variety of reasons, but it generally comes down to your day in, day out, practice partners, how you scrim, and even in your online leagues. There's more teams in Europe, the ping's better, all those things. You guys have basically been boot camping about a month. Cologne was an amazing boot camp for you. Unfortunately, only got second place at your boot camp, but pretty good. So, are you finding that is part of your success so far? Is this the practice level that you're getting while you're here is far above what you're used to at home?
Yeah, definitely. I think practicing here is definitely the reason why we've been able to make so many changes, and as well try out new tactics and see which one we want to actually use in our matches. And our map pool is actually growing just in like the last month, just because we've been practicing here, and all these other teams that are here are good on so many maps. And back in NA, we know there's certain maps that certain teams like playing, so we usually practice them on their best maps. But our map pool becomes limited over time because of that.
Yeah. And then to that same kind of point, what I've also noticed, and the community's picked up on it, there's been articles about it, we're seeing a Cloud9 that when you get down a bunch of rounds, you don't check out. Like, you're actually fighting back on these deficits and then winning, which again probably comes down to the practice. But is that also a mental shift? Are you guys doing anything out of game to kind of, like, I don't know if you have a sports psychologist or anything going, but how are you working on that kind of stuff?
Yep, we do, and a couple of our players do talk with him quite often. Besides that, I think something that I work individually with players as well is just look. I kind of notice their tendencies on when I notice they're starting to get down, and I tell them to remind themselves that, hey, we practice these things. We're playing maps that we know we were going to do things on, so just remind yourself that, hey, we're still in this game, and forget about the score.
Now let's talk about the matchup. In the last 3 months, you guys have played G2 quite a few times, 6 times in total. You're 3-3. Couple best of ones, best of 3. I just noticed you're playing Cobble, and they beat you in DreamHack Austin on Cobble. Close though, 16-12. Did the veto go the way it went? And do you think? I mean, the weird thing about the veto is we haven't seen it very often, but G2 technically had the high seed, which would have given them the first veto. They gave that to you. Did that play right into like what you wanted?
Yeah, actually, we were expecting it to come down to Cache and Cobble. And instead it came down to Inferno and Cobble, and it was left to us to choose, and they were expecting Inferno, I'm sure, and we picked Cobble. We lost to them on Cobble at Austin a couple months ago, back end of April, I believe. And, you know, we lost not because of any, like, great team play by them or strats. It's just kind of they were out shooting us. So I watched that. I watched it with Stu and Tim, and it looked like, hey, we can probably outplay them this time. We have some more stuff on it, so let's give it back to them. That's
great. I got a gift for you. Hang on, let me get rid of this. So Jordan's going to appreciate this. This is the Do Not Peek bat. Brought it all the way from the States. Jordan remembers this from his Evil Geniuses days. I'm going to give this to you for this match, and maybe it'll bring you a little bit of luck, all right?
Yeah,
Good luck, man.
One more thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
As I wanted to give them, you know, something back. They gave the vetoes back to us. They let us be Team A. I want to give this to them, if you can hand it to Smits. Just, I know coaches have to be good at nonverbal communication, so please hand it to Smits and let him know if he ever wants to let me know, without talking to me, what the outcome of this game is going to be.
All right, I will go give this to him, and hopefully he doesn't punch me in the face. You're welcome. All right, Red Iron Gang, back to you guys at the desk.
My word. We were waiting for the, you know, the talking to up its level, and I think it just reached a new level. We've got white flags and bats being handed out now to the coaches. God help the players in this one. We are going to go straight into this one. The players are ready, so let's go straight back to our commentary team of Anders and Semler for Cloud9 versus G2.
Absolute banter. I love it. That's
top
amazing.
Kick, top kick.
Just handing with the bat, handing with a little flag there. I definitely like that. Semler, you must appreciate that.
I love it, man. The white flag. It's going to be great.
That joke never gets old, does it?
It's, I mean, it kind of does, because then you're just like, oh yeah, okay, but like Napoleon, you know. But you know, fair enough, right? You know, selective selective memory. You know, you just don't remember the greats.
It's such a good joke that you have an instant reply in your head already. You've heard it so many times.
I'm ready. Yeah, exactly.
I like it. That's very good. Well, listen, this is going to be since we're stealing all of Henry G's lines today, this is going to be a barn burner, I think. You know,
well played.
We should make that a tradition now. G2 and Cloud9 playing in a best of one here. Both the teams are 1-1 in the group, so I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be crazy. And the Iceman,
he is not excited. He is quite calm,
Zen,
cool, collected. Exactly, Zen. He might be sitting on top of a mountain right now.
Listen, if he's going to continue to play as well as he has been playing, then, you know, if this is the key, I say do it. Go for it.
You do wonder, like, do players actually use meditation? Because there are benefits to even just a few minutes worth of meditation per day, calming down, trying to just accept whatever it is that's in your head, dealing with it, right? I mean, before a match like that, I think that's actually pretty sharp here, from nothing to actually try and take a few minutes to just center himself.
Maybe we could get a post-game interview if they end up winning and trying to figure out, you know, what's the technique? Is anything got anything going on? Either way, he's been playing very well. I think it's remarkable to see him return to sort of this level after having been gone for quite a while. And on the other side, G2, I mean, are you all going to be on the French side automatically, or do you think, what do you think here, on Cobblestone?
This is where, you know, I'm going to be a Swede today, Anders, because I get to do that, right? Honorary Swede over here. Also half French, half American. But it's just too painful for both of these teams, right? This is one of those matches where it's just like, I love both of the teams playing, and so it's just like, whoever wins, I'm going to be like, yay, but at the same time, you're just like, no, right? Because you're beating the other team. And so today, I'm a Swede. I'm just like, I don't care either way.
Just completely neutral. Well,
what is it? The Futurama, planet neutral. I do not have a feeling either for or against either of these teams.
I don't know. I think when I look at the lineups, my heart says G2, but when I look at how they've been playing recently, I sort of feel like Cloud9 are coming into this game with a bit more momentum. Obviously, yesterday from Cloud9 was a bit painful, but
yes.
But honestly, I feel quite good about the American team. We are going to find out how it all unfolds here on Cobblestone. Get the Dragon Lord drops in. Everybody's ready for this one. G2 and Cloud9 in a best of one here for the PGL Major. Still in the group stage, and it will be Cloud9 starting on the CT side, or sorry, T side, and G2 on the CT side. Let's see how this plays out. A lot of armor on both teams at this point, and straight jump down, Stewie to open it up.
Yep, and they have the smoke to block off connector on the other side as well, so this is all on NBK now. He needs to find at least one frag, and he's not even going to get that. Skadoodle guns him down, ruthless, and it's all, oh man, it's not even on Shoxy. Shoxy gets shot in the face too. What is this? A perfect round for Cloud9? It could happen. There is no messing with automatic, but Kenny, he's up to the task. Still 1v4, and it's not for long. Stewie, long-range shot with the USP. And that was very clean stuff from Cloud9. You saw Skadoodle setting up. I mean, excellent observing, of course. Heather's on top of it. You saw from Skadoodle's position, right? He gets that connector smoke down immediately, gets the flash out there as well, and then it's just explode into drop and run it out from there.
And it's hilarious because the first kill that they get on Apex there, both Kenny and Body are actually waiting inside the B bomb site, so they're just hoping, crossing their fingers, please rotate B and not A. Because as soon as they rotate A, you said NBK is the only one there. If they'd gone the other way, they would have run into it considerably more firepower, so that's just very unfortunate there. Cloud9 opening up with a good start. Galil's scout, a little bit of everything here. Anticipating maybe a bigger buy out of G2. They've held back a bit in this round. Still have some money in the bank.
Yeah, MBK in particular. But we've seen this in the past from G2 where MBK takes the hit for his teammate Kenny. MBK prioritizes his economy for that AWP and then drops it over to Kenny. Because, I mean, yeah, it's Kenny. You know, even with the Deeg, even with the toothpick, this man is a threat. So some drop control here for Cloud9 to start things off. And it's a 4-man stack on the B side for G2. And so G2, once again, all they're hoping for is that they go B, but that's not looking like it's what's going to happen here.
Just automatic on a mission to try and find out if anyone is holding drop, while the rest are converging on the A-bomb side instead. There's a pretty big presence here, but overall I think Cloud9 have found a pretty good way to enter. Gotta get rid of Kenny, and they actually get the shot on him. That's very unfortunate. Now he has to fall back. A bit of a panic here. Shroud gets a kill, but they turn their back, and that'll be a kill for Body. And Apex following up with the C-set. 75 for the double. Now it's all falling apart here. Shocks with the Deagle. Cloud9, they had a pretty good opening. They just didn't check the corners.
Getting a bit too ahead of themselves there. Perhaps the tension, perhaps the nerves. But G2 also had a very good read on the situation. Not falling for it, not staying too long on the B site. Early rotation, and now nothing. He's trying to make a dash. Not going to happen. Shoxy's there to deny him with the UMP. But that was so close for nothing to try and make the run to the B site and get the bomb plant there. Would have been a decent situation for him. But instead it means that G2 will win the follow-up round. And now the pressure is on the Americans.
It's like as soon as they get the kill on Kenny at top ramp, they assume he's the only player there. And then, but there are actually two people chasing him down. So logically, one checks site, one checks behind them. They just forgot about that little detail. So it cost them quite a bit. Great double kill for Apex. 1-1 is the scoreline. And now moving into the third round. A couple of Galil's being stolen there for G2, as you can tell. That's going to help their economy so much, just not having to buy those. Just pick them off the ground, maybe the UMP as well. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that didn't even look like he was supposed to connect. Stewie trying to follow it up. He's desperate, but what? Don't shoot your teammate. He's trying to help you.
Yeah, he wanted to escape the Molotov, though, you know? Didn't want to get blocked in.
Ah, man. Especially automatic. He's one of the driving forces on Cloud9. Teams literally play around him. Just don't play where automatic is. All right, Shoxy's waiting for this. This is so sick from Shoxy.
One little picky, two little. The third one coming in, and he's got the bomb, and Shox is thinking, well, you know what? Now is about that time. Running with the flock. He's going to turn the corner with the UMP and only get the one kill. I feel like he set that up so nicely for a bit of a spray down. MBK takes him with the M4 instead, but you have to admire the patience of Shox, and he could still get the final one in with the Deagle. Maybe swap out. There's the M4. There's the Tech 9. What a good round. Really patient play from Shox.
Yeah, that's where it all works out perfectly, right? Nobody looks left, and he's just able to count them going to the market. And it turns out that, you know, Shoxy, when he huffs and puffs, Cloud9, you know, they evaporate. And so it's all over as far as NA are concerned, at least for this round. It's a hard eco coming up. Skadoodle has prioritized the AWP for the next round. He's sitting at 3,000 in the bank. But the rest of them, it's just going to be Glocks galore. Automatic, though, he had a little bit more money, so he goes for the Deeg.
Turned around early on for Cloud9, even after winning the pistol. They couldn't hold on to it, so now they have to start a bit slower than probably they were hoping for. Really common spread here for G2. I do like the fact, though, that they're being fairly aggressive on the plateau. I feel like one of the worst things to watch on this map is when the CT side gives up on the plateau control and just sort of defaulted to waiting in the B-bomb side, and then eventually they get crushed. So I'd like to see them keep that up all the way out.
There's the drop. Body is there to watch the window, and Kenny's rotated back over to A here to bolster the defense, along with Apex. They are spread right now, and that's going to cost them Shox. Falls to automatic long range with the deagle, but NBK instant headshot on Stewie. There's the reply. 3 swift frags for G2. And Shroud not going to be much better. Kenny finds a headshot, and NBK will close the round, taking down Skadoodle. And so there we have it. 55 seconds left in the round. Very quick round, in fact, for Cloud9. Not wasting much time on that hard eco. And now we get into the thick of it. Skadoodle, does he go for the glass cannon? He won't have the money to buy the Kevlar if he does commit to the AWP. We've seen some good things from Ska, though, with the AK, right? Like, it used to be back in the day where it's just like he was one of those dedicated operators where if you put a rifle in his hands, well, you know, just cross your fingers and hope, because he's not really going to be able to do too much with it. But that's changed. Over the past couple of years, he has significantly improved with the AK or the M4.
It looked like maybe there could have been a bit of a conversation about which route to go with it. In the end, he picks up the AWP, which is fine. I mean, on Cobblestone Seaside, you can get some really good fights with it, and you're not going to get that many grenades on you. This actually, running in here quick is one of the places where he could have got grenaded from drop, so I would have been a bit careful with that. But yeah, why not have him lurk around and try and see if he gets sneak in a kill somewhere? Just maybe not so much on Plateau. MBK close to the drop here. Going to be one grenade sailing past him. Stewie showing his face, and going to be quick on the trigger.
Yeah, tough draw there for NBK. I think he heard multiple footsteps as well, and so he's just wondering how many people are going to come through here, and I can't back out because they've already got the angle on me. So man advantage for Cloud9. Stewie waiting in drop as well. His teammates are still gathered around him. Skadoodle just checking the back line to make sure nobody's infiltrated. Good. Shoxy has taught them well.
Yeah, really drawing this one out now, Cloud9. Once you have that drop control, it makes sense to try and see if you can pressure on and maybe take Plateau as well, because if you get both of those, then there is no more B-bomb side. Bit of a battle going on to the A-ramp. Apex showing his face, and also Shroud taking down shots. It's looking much better now for the American side. Kenny back chicken coop here, trying to see if he can stay alive with the AWP. They're going to rotate over because nothing is holding this anyway. Body making quite a bit of noise, and he's just a couple of shots away from death himself. 18 seconds. Body, very hard for him to do anything. If he had more health, maybe he could fight to stop the bomb from going down, like, you know, get the kill on one person, but with 25, it's pretty unlikely. Shroud will take him out, and all about Kenny staying alive now. Great round from Cloud, a very measured round coming out of them.
Yeah, good communication as well. That's the key here. Just instantly acting off of Nothing's info that he takes down Apex on A, that the A side is open. They didn't waste a second. As soon as, well, also Kenny getting the first pick there on the man on Plateau. So, I mean, just some quick thinking here from Cloud9. That's what you need to see, especially against a team of veterans like G2. G2, they have been shaky. There has been a lot of pressure on this roster. They're seen as the super team for France now when the roster shuffle came through. And they didn't exactly deliver top results immediately, right? There was a bit of a grind there trying to get the team to gel. But they still haven't reached that Super Saiyan mode yet.
No, there's been peaks where we've seen it, where we sort of, you know, saw a glimmer of it and we thought, okay, this is how this team is supposed to really function. I can understand why it would be difficult to make this project work overall, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure sold on the idea that you sacrifice so much of Shox to get sort of his leadership. But that's just because my opinion of Shox as an individual player is so high that, you know, my feeling will always be just unleash Shox. Just do that, and you'll be more successful. Right now, they are going with that style. Double up though on the CT side is exciting, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied, Selma, because one of them is Shox.
Yes. He is a very capable operator. Doesn't really like duels, but he will be able to find the angle on Nothing. And there's the first shot, staying alive a little bit longer, but Shroud through the edge of the box finds the headshot. And we're into a 4-on-4. Cloud9 not even committed. Willing to back off and play for time. I love it. They're in a situation that favors them. They still have a whole lot of utility to work with. There's no reason to risk it by rushing onto the side afterwards.
Players are really becoming a lot better at getting those types of shots where they actually don't face, but they just sort of pre-fire it or shoot through the side of a box. Stewie commanding the tower position.
Matchmaking.
It's a bit of a shame that it isn't Twist from Liquid, so you could, you know, be the wizard in the tower and, you know, magician. Love that.
I was just loving that awareness. Apex is pushed up aggro on A long as well. It doesn't look like Apex is going to risk it at all. He is, they're kind of, well, I mean, right now it's a bit of a catch-all approach here for G2. They're spread out pretty thin across the map. This is going to come down to individuals hitting their shots when the time comes.
One problem here is Can they get Kenny into position? Stewie has one smoke, so you have to wonder where exactly is that going to land. Could it block off Kenny? And well, for just a moment, he's going to be walking out. Has a really good line down towards the drop and broken wall. Kenny not hitting the shot. Now he's going to get overrun by automatic on the bomb side itself. Body goes down. And now by the rock waiting, NBK, can he stop the bomb from being dropped? He actually won't be able to do that, but he got the kill on Shroud anyway, so 2 versus 1. And this is where Nathan does a lot of his work. Just get completely blocked in. That's very aggressive from Skadoodle. I don't think NBK was expecting that. He was thinking, well, this is going to be one of those fights where I have to come and find them, so I'll give myself a couple of seconds to look for an aim fight, and then, boom, Skadoodle. Aggressive.
It's not really characteristic of Skadoodle either in his opping. He isn't necessarily one of those oppers, you know, a la Guardian, a la Kenny, who goes out and hunts for frags. Hell, a la Stewie. But instead, yeah, you saw it just right on the edge. Nastiness.
Very well done on Shroud.
And Shroud, I mean, major qualifier and past a couple of events. I mean, Cologne, I think, is probably the big one, obviously. Him and Scott both hitting an excellent level.
We're not going to talk about yesterday, though.
No. No. Well, you know, everybody can have an off day, except for Cold. Cold doesn't have off days.
It just generally yesterday, a day of controversy in every way. So much debate going on. But it's nice to see Shroud being back in. He's actually doing very well for Cloud9 at the moment. Top of the scoreboard for them with 5 kills and automatic as well on 5. So more of that. Scoreline is tied up here. That's in spite of the fact that they lost the second round, Cloud9. So I would say they were in a comfortable spot. The money isn't there for G2.
Yes.
The American side definitely looking a bit stronger at the moment.
What I'm wondering right now, Anders, is did Kenny misbuy that FAMAS? He has a glass cannon FAMAS right now. I'm just like,
he's down to 1200, so I'll say I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
That's a costly error, especially considering, I mean, he's your opper. So it might come down to Shoxy taking the hit and handing over an op. We'll see. Stewie will find the headshot on NBK. He takes one in turn, however, so he's down to 7 HP, but automatic is there to back him up. It's going to be Kenny Shoxy stacked up, and sure enough, there it is. The FAMAS works. He manages to pick up 1 kill. Boosted on top of his teammate. He loses his teammate.
Apex. If Kenny can stay alive here for 10 more seconds, then maybe Apex get there, but it is going to be 10 seconds, and only 3 go by, and Skadoodle finding the kill. You see, he needed just a bit more time, Apex, and he could have been there. Stewie might go down here, but that still won't solve the problem. There's still a 1-on-3, and actually, Apex, see, that wasn't actually bad play from Apex. He was gunning for more than 1 kill, because even if he gets that one, he's still in the 1-on-3 with no chance at all, so
I think he's gunning for the deny on the plant there.
Yeah, probably.
And imagine, there was not that much time left in the round. There could have been something very interesting going on if he could have just got that kill on the bomb planter.
Yeah, you're right.
But sadly, you know, it worked for Shox earlier, and sometimes that's the way it is, right? You know, you get these glorious situations where it comes down to somebody not checking an angle.
Yeah, under 20 seconds when he's up close to Stewie. So I think that was not a bad idea for Apex. Well, that's 4 and 3. That's the scoreline. Again, G2. Kenny back with the FAMAS like he had last time. You wish he wouldn't have, you know, misbought that. I have to assume it's a misbuy because he could have had so much more in this round.
Yeah, NBK, I mean, even being the one to take the hit here for his team. He's got that UMP just so that they can have the kit. And some nades to work with as well. But now we're back to that catch-all kind of approach here from G2. 2 on A, so holding solid. 3 on B.
It's a nice jump from automatic, just trying to pretend that was the fall sound. No one is biting. Automatic disappointed for the moment that he can lure someone into a kill. It's a very conservative round from Cloud9 once again. This isn't, you know, when I think about Cloud9, especially because they have automatic and Stewie, you think of that sort of crazy style, but actually lately they've been showing that they have a deeper element to them that is this slow style, and it's actually working remarkably well. So I feel like we're being treated to just like we're being taken on a bit of a ride and getting a sense for just how deep this roster maybe can be. Apex will go down early on in the round, and now they're struggling to rotate into the A-bomb side.
Yeah, they're once again cutting it a bit close here, though. 20 seconds left. Body and NBK can rotate over here to back Kenny up. And Kenny, he's all the way in the back of the site. Shroud flambés NBK, however. But this is still Kenny alive. 10 seconds left, and if he gets this kill on Shroud, that could be big. A second kill for Kenny, and he pretty much wins the round at this point. Just to stay alive, but it's not going to happen. 6 seconds left, and it just... What?
If
and in the chaos, they just run out and die.
if Shox could have got back around the corner, because he got the kill on the last guy who could have put the bomb down. There was only 6 seconds, so Shox actually had to peek to get that fight. If he could have just make it back around the corner, if Stewie hadn't taken him down on the balcony, that would have been it. They would have won the round.
That's what I thought was
Madness.
going to happen. In my mind, it's already played out. We're just like, oh, Kenny got the 2 kills. That's it. It's done, pretty much. And yet, there we have it.
Tactical timeout for G2. Scoreline 5-3. That was very, very close indeed. Just wasn't able to get back around the corner. Then absolutely no one could have put that bomb down. They wouldn't have been there in time to do it. So if he does that, it would have been a hero moment. 128 ADR on automatic. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
The money right now is outstanding on Cloud9 as well. Now they really do have that comfort zone. Automatic leading the way with 8 kills, but more importantly, well, after buying, he's going to be down to closer to $5,000, but he started off with 10. And Ska, fully equipped, 7.2K. And this is a feel-good moment right now for Cloud9. The slow style is working. It's definitely cutting it down pretty close, but it is working. And that takes confidence, and that's the difference, right? It takes confidence to be able to play a slow style, because you have to be willing to trust in your mid-round calls and trust in your reads. And if you don't have that trust, well, that's when you start to feel the stress and you start taking duels that you don't need to and start trying to go for explosive plays.
But G2 should adopt a long view of this match as well and think to themselves, we're on CT side Cobblestone, our economy's not working out so well, which is why 5-3 in the sort of grand scheme of things, not necessarily the end of the world. Sort of try and we just had the Immortals match where they were off to a really terrible start and just turned it around no problem. So yeah, I would think G2 are probably just saying something similar right now and thinking, yeah, any minute now we'll be back in the action. I do wonder what the change will be, because what we're seeing right now is that there's a lot of drop control for Cloud9, and there's also a lot of plateau control, and there's not much of a challenge for G2 there. So I still think the sort of round where you have Shox push up and maybe take an early op fight over there, and then just try and fall back. That didn't work last time, but you know, just get him back from that position. I still prefer that. I think they are just trying to restart the round here and make sure that everyone's got the right amount of money, which is always an issue. So...
Oh, right, okay. So the players are learning how it works here at the Major. There's a little bit of a different setup, and so they keep reloading the round instead of relaunching it. So the admin finally stepped in and said, you know what, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and take care of this. Countdown has begun, and we're going to get live. So you live, you learn, Anders. You live, you learn.
In a perfect world, yes. Some people seems like that's not the case, but yes. Quick grenade into drop, and now trying to see if he can make a lot of noise here is Stewie. They've also thrown smokes from T-spawn, so they've kept 4 people on this side of the map here. They only have pistols, so now Stewie can at least hear them rotate back, and Shroud is going to put up a preemptive smoke. Stewie has got bored in the meantime and said, like, I want to be part of the action too. Let me just jump down right in the face of Kenny. MBK with 1 kill. The Deagle might be all they get in this round. Body looking the right way. Looked for a moment like he was going to miss the timing. Skadoodle trapped in the corner, fighting his way out though with the Tech 9. And that's 6-3.
It always just looks so fast with those Tech 9 headshots, man. Just
yeah.
Instant death for Shoxy, even though he succeeded in baiting out the AWP shot. Okay. So that round is pretty much a wash. Nobody really cares. It's on to this one. This is when they have the money to go for the double AWP again here for G2. The AWP on Ska, yes, but you're right. Are we going to see Shoxy going for the aggressive play from Plateau? Or are they going to try and stack it up over here at A long? Looking like Shoxy's going to head over there, and Kenny as well. Interesting. Shox taking a little bit of the long route towards Plateau, and he's going to get flashed white, and this is going to be an explosive round from Cloud9. Instead, I think he just gets gunned down. Shoxy, no chance at all to do anything.
No, just a moment of hesitation there. And it cost him a lot. Kenny will get the kill on Stewie. This is big for G2. They need to win this round. Body going to go for the spray on 1 that drops the bomb. This is maybe the round that they could turn it. They've got the 4 versus 3. They've got everyone rotated in here. They even have the bomb on the site, but NBK pushing up, and I'm not sure for what reason. They know they have to get down to the statue at some point and pick that bomb and just wait and take the fight there. Automatic against Skadoodle. Skadoodle dropping very low. He's going to go down to Apex. It's all on automatic. He's inside the smoke, and bullets are whizzing past his ear. He's only going to get the 1 kill, and G2 come out on top. That's big news A 4th round for them, shutting down Cloud9.
And they aren't able to save both AWPs. Looks like they weren't quite sure of where shoxi died, and so there was no saving the second one, but they did recover one, and that'll go to Kenny, obviously enough. But that's the issue when you go for these kinds of plays, the rush onto B. If you get bogged down on plateau, it's so hard to fight out of that, to figure out how to get back down again. It comes down to G2 making mistakes, like NBK pushing forward aggressively, right? Giving them maybe a chance. But then again, at the same time, NBK knows I have body, Apex, they're both alive on the side as well.
Yeah, but I definitely don't think NBK should have done that. I also think, though, that once they got the first kill on Shox, might be worth slowing it down then, you know, saying, well, you know, just hold on, that was pretty easy. Let's see what G2 do now. Maybe go for a boost onto the box or something, you know, while all the smokes are down behind. Seemed like they were a bit eager, Cloud9, to run right onto the site with a bomb. That's very risky.
That's fair.
Great work from Body, though. I mean, that was just very well done.
Yeah, he just stayed put. Like, he just stayed put, stayed alive on the site, didn't overpeak. And that's where you see the qualities of Body. A very wise player, despite him being the young addition to the G2 roster.
Yeah, I think he's one of those success stories where it seems like he's been molded well by the older veterans in the scene. They've made him sort of into the style of player that they want him to be, and it's actually just pretty amazing. It's a really good model to work off of. Automatic is still playing those audio games over there, but this time he actually does finally jump down. I wish it would work one time. It looks so cool if you fake someone into peeking. Hasn't really been functional yet. And speaking of Body, he's looking straight into a wall with his back turned, trying not to get flashed while the point of contact will be Shox. So a bit of a mind game, a dangerous one, because if they lose drop control, then this position for Body won't do anything at all.
No, exactly. And well, this is on NBK. Leaping in with the UMP. Assassinates automatic. And shoxi with the double spray down as Stewie and Shroud try to trade the kill. Not gonna happen. Cloud9 just get clotheslined over here. And this is shaping up very fine indeed for G2, especially because there's no time left in the round. 10 seconds and they're backing off to save their guns.
A great example of how you actually can win rounds on the B-bomb side. Like that, when that drop push is gone, when automatic goes down, and especially when you do it in style, jumping UMP, it's just brutal. There's not much left for the plateau players. I mean, it's very, very hard for them to do anything. And that setup now, even if Shox hadn't got the double kill, for sure, if they had traded the first one, they would have been thinking, well, let's get onto the side quick, and Body would have closed the round anyway. So, nice, good setup for G2. This match is suddenly becoming a lot more interesting.
Who's talking right now on Cloud9? Or is nobody talking? Okay, well, there's a little bit of talk from Tim coming through.
They've moved past the point of talking, and they're using pure telepathy. Just that's what Nothing was practicing before they got into the game.
I mean, it is something when things get rough for Cloud9. I think communication can be a big thing for this team, where they do kind of tend to shut down. But and we know that because obviously you can look at the cameras, you can look at the players in the action and see who's doing a lot of the talking, who isn't. And so you see differences between teams like SK, who just communicate every detail so rapidly, versus teams like Cloud9, where in the past I've seen, you know, just, you don't really see as much good comms coming through from them. And so...
They have a lot of personalities like that that are a bit drawn back. I think actually that's where it's so great that they have Nothing, hopefully, to break the ice in that, because he's not one of those people. He will definitely be more active on that front. But, you know, some of the other guys are a bit more quiet and could be good at times and very bad at other times, for sure. 5-6 is the scoreline moving into the 12th round. See if Cloud9 can resume the destruction they were bringing onto G2 from earlier. It seems like the tide is sort of turning. The French have got more money in the bank. Cloud9 are starting to run out of that. So if you're Cloud9 right now, you just want that 10-5 first half finish. Make it a smooth ride for the end of it.
Yes. This is still a fairly T-sided map, and so you do not want to be letting G2 get ahead of you on the CT side. But they're changing it up. We haven't seen much action A-long at all in this half, and so this is a different strategy coming in from Cloud9. And Apex, perhaps sensing that something is off, decides to back out and play it safe, and so they will not find that opening kill over here, Cloud9.
Timing between those two things were a bit too close for comfort. An automatic waiting. He needs to wait until sound is made on the other side, and then he can get a sense for how many people are here. NBK gonna lose the fight. That's a great way to get started for this A push in the back of the bomb side. Apex has to work some of, you know, like a miracle here with the M4, but he's going to get shot down. Nothing with the long-range headshot, taking a kill as well. And automatic pretty much winning the round with those two kills. Very, very good job on his part here. And not challenging either. You'd love to see it. Just the patience.
They can afford to sacrifice one more player here, Cloud9, on the hunt. And that's exactly what Nothing is doing. He's already hightailing it back over towards the halls, trying to cut Body off if Body tried to make it back through. But it's not worth throwing away everything. They will be able to buy in the next round here, G2, if they want, especially if they save this AK. So, I mean, you got to give it to Cloud9, though. Changing it up, changing the point of contact, not running, you know, being stubborn and trying to make it work on B. It's not working on B. Go and actually hit a point on the map that you really haven't shown much presence on throughout this first half. And well, Skadoodle getting the key frag on Apex as well. Apex just not able to get anything done from his position.
Yeah, and again, it's not really necessarily G2's fault, but it's just a feature of playing CT side Cobblestone. He's so far back by the time they have any chance of knowing, right? He sort of fell back from his forward position, but it's unclear if he would have had more success taking the fight earlier. But at the end of the day, you know, you lose one guy in middle, and then the next kill that happens is you going down on the bomb site itself. That's always pretty uncomfortable. They just couldn't rotate in time. 7-5, and they also couldn't rotate because Automatic was holding it. So
yeah,
it's very, very tough indeed.
Yeah, you gotta like the decision making from Shoxy there, and you can see Shoxy. You don't see him because we don't have the X-ray on, but he has just run past, and he's right about at the entrance for A. And so at that point, Shoxy's got to make the decision where he just has to trust in his teammates rotating over from the B site, you know, to deal with Automatic. That he needs to get in there quick to help Apex. That doesn't work.
It was not a happy face for Apex, was it?
No, but did you see the admin behind him who kind of had like a grin on his face? So I guess that guy's a Cloud9 fan.
Ooh, maybe. We could start some spicy rumors if we do our best here. I think Kenny... Oh, he's going to peek it late. That's very dangerous. Skadoodle is opening from the other side, but he could have just as well been in the angle there. Flash goes in. Kenny going to sneak into the angle. Deep smoke is up, and this is a bit of a dangerous game being played. They also do have Molotov in the corner now. Shots will be smoked for a moment just to save his life. This is a game of chess that's being played over here right now. All the time dodging each other. Finally, Skadoodle will come out on top. So many grenades wasted to try and regain control of that situation. And then all it results is one kill.
Yeah, that is a long, drawn-out battle, all based on utility. And, well, not this time, MBK. You needed to go jumping through, not walking. And they will fight. What's Skadoodle? The wall bang through Shroud to get that kill. Nothing going to get in the way of this man.
Listen, whatever it takes. That's the agenda right now. Apex is going to be getting the kill on Automatic, but they had already decided to fall back at that point in time, you could tell.
I mean, fair enough, Ska. Fair enough.
Yeah, listen, I mean, if you win the bomb side, it's definitely worth it. And Shroud can take it. He's doing just fine at the moment. 7 kills for him, but that's not at all a problem.
No. I mean, I'm watching on your delayed stream right now. That's pretty sick. I mean, right now, we're seeing just very calm play from Cloud9, making use of their grenades. We've seen it in the past where they get antsy and they run in without using utility. It's something that many players actually suffer from in tense situations where they just decide, right, going to take the fight, instead of actually using their nades. So to see Cloud9 heavily rely on the flashes, the mollies, just using all the tools at their disposal to get control of plateau like that. Yeah, you see the fist bump there, you know, they know it worked. They know that they played that very well. And so confidence boosting round there for Cloud9.
That was actually incredibly close. Now, this round was like a good reversal of the previous one where MBK got the kill and drop first. This time, they lose drop right away, G2, and you see the rest of the bomb site. It can't be saved. It's so hard. Like, it takes a hero performance from the last players on the bomb site because they've got way too many angles to cover as soon as drop is gone. Now we see a counter boost coming up, but nice jump there from... Is that Skadoodle trying to check it out, or...?
I think it was Automatic.
Automatic, yeah. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You got to be checking for those small things, taking your time with it. And while Cloud9, I mean, they kind of learned their lesson earlier with Shoxy. You don't really want to cut any corners, exactly, checking the angles. I like it very much here from Automatic. So we'll see if he decides to commit. He has been very active and successful over here in drop so far this half. That is still one of the nastiest positions on any map to play.
Yeah, yes. There's a huge gamble right now from G2. only one person on B, and that's shoczy at the moment. Towards drop MBK, but the 3-man stack on A. I think G2 are thinking, if we could just get them to go to A, that would be perfect. The MBK opening up and taking down automatic. First step in the right direction here. G2 want to try and see if they can change the round, and Body will take down Stewie. So far it's working remarkably well for them.
All you're thinking right now, if you're Cloud9, is we cannot lose to an eco round or a force with pistols. This would be huge for G2. But it's not done yet. I mean, even a 3v5, they still have superior nades. Cloud9, they have superior firepower. And so it looks like it's going to be Shroud trying to draw a bit of attention over here towards Plateau. Instantly assassinated by shoxi. Skadoodle going to run right into Body, but not this time, he says. He's got the P250. He hits the headshot, and nothing. He's out on the A site.
Yeah, but it's only 10 seconds.
Oh,
he actually
right.
cannot get there in time.
I lost track of the clock. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of thought that could happen because Skadoodle was hot in on the bomb site, but, you know, just had to slow down to get that kill, and then afterwards, that was it. 8-6 and moving into the 15th round. That's a huge round for G2 to win. I think they've done everything they needed to on this first half. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride, really, for them. And imagine what it would have been like if they had not won the second round there, where they got sort of the first 3 rounds out of the 6 that they have from turning it right against Cloud9 after losing the pistol. If that hadn't been the case, you wonder if this could have been almost a sweep for Cloud9, but that's not how it turned out. And we'll see what happens here in the 15th round. Certainly the American side are starting to feel the pressure.
Yeah, last round of this first half. And we're going to see them clear out A long again, it looks like. Which would be nice. I mean, they've had success on it. This is where they were able to turn things around when it mattered most in the mid of the half. And so it looks like it will be a bit more of a focus here on the A side. Apex and Kenny doubled up. MBK not far away, and Body as well. And so the defense here, it's going to be thick. And Apex this time around is successful. Manages to trade 1-for-1, and Kenny 2 kills as well.
Just ignoring the smoke, keeping the angle. Very well done on him. Another couple of kills, and this will be a very good first half indeed. Shroud will hit 1 headshot, and Kenny will get a triple. Body to close out the round. And G2 making it 7-8. That's such a great score for them in the first half here. Very impressive for the French overall. I think they managed to turn around. Their economy was very bad at some point in this game, and in spite of that, they could still fight back. So, really well done. And Cloud9, I mean, now we've just got a very open game on our hands. It's kind of impossible to tell who will come out on top.
Yeah. I mean, odds favor G2 now because they've got the 7 rounds going into the second half.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, Cloud9, anything is possible with them on the pistol side here, on CT side, rather. Automatic with the pistol rounds, Stewie as well. So if Cloud9 pick up the pistol and get a strong start, and at least get a little room to maneuver with, right, if they can lock down the 3 rounds and keep going, things could look up here for the North American team, but highly doubtful. G2, they're not going to be wanting to give them any room to maneuver whatsoever. Looking to see what MBK is going to buy. shoxi with the Molotov and the smoke, so.
Yeah, and that Molotov is really interesting because it could be used in a bunch of different ways, but I think one of the really obvious ones is clearing out anyone playing chicken coop in a pistol round. Because that can be almost death to your team if you're playing on the T side. If there's one guy with a USP back there and you have to go and find him with the Glocks, you have to sort of, you know, traverse the whole B bomb site. And, you know, there are going to be people shooting at you from the doors and everything. They're much easier to just throw one Molotov, get him out of there, and then you don't have to cross the bomb. So just go and plant the bomb and there's no problem. So that's at least one potential guess for what that could be for. We haven't really seen people try and do what people do on train where they sort of bomb out the defuse, but it's perfectly possible on this map. There are lots of places you could do it. It's only popular on train for God knows what reason. 7-8 moving into the second half here. A big match between G2 and Cloud9, and it's dead even at the moment. Grenade going to go up. Shox actually already has the Molotov primed. Is he going to land it back here? They are actually double stacked, and there it goes into the chicken coop, and nothing's going to go down. Stewie has to run. He can't hide, and Body will take him down. Brilliant grenade work coming out of G2, and now it's a 2 versus 4. Looking for a couple of more kills here. Automatic gets 1, but Kenny on the cleanup crew. Automatic is going to be going down, and G2 will win it, tying it up 8-8. That is well done for shoxi. 2 men, they got 2 for 1 grenade.
Yeah, who needs a bomb plant when everything is going so well right from the start, right? Molotov into chicken coop, who doesn't love fried chicken? And then just aggressive take of controller of connector. I mean, the fact that they were able to just take the fight at Big Rock and not stop. They pressed the man advantage, they took advantage of it, and they actually managed to close out the round. And so it's not going to happen for Cloud9 here. They are going to go for the force buy in the second round, but G2, they're veterans. They shouldn't be falling for any shenanigans here.
Just a point of detail as well. When they were taking that fight towards Rock, Apex was controlling drop, so they knew that no one was retaking from that point. They had all the focus where they needed. So just a tiny detail, but it's really nice to see that kind of synchronicity on a team at that point. 5 versus 4 here. Cloud9 have already lost automatic in G2. Looking like they're off to a very good start here in the second half. Again, love seeing people clearing out close corners with Molotovs. In a round like this, just don't leave anything to chance. It isn't worth it.
No, but there is a stack on A. We're kind of running into it here. Shroud, not going to find anything apart from a bullet to the face, and NBK will be there. But Skadoodle with the CZ. That was clean on NBK. He gets the drop on him, but it's not going to be good enough. Up close, nothing though with the 5-7. Will just take out Kenny, and it's going to be the 1v2 now. Shoxy and Body. They just got to take their time with this. They know where he's playing from. They've got him boxed in. Get that bomb ticking, yes. And nothing with the MAC-10. Not going to be able to find the shot on Shoxy fast enough before Body shows up to save the day.
Just a scare there for Skadoodle. That was a really good second shot, so credit to him. 9-8 the scoreline. And Cloud9 will have to have a bit more patience before they get a chance to fight it back. And you have to assume a large part of the second half for the American side is going to be decided based on how well Skadoodle is going to be doing with the AWP. I think his presence, if it's minimized on the bomb side, if he can't do too much with the AWP, then Cloud9 are going to have a really hard time, I think. But if he could be aggressive and dominant, then maybe it'll change the output here.
Oh, yeah, I heard those footsteps. Shoxy knows. Nothing turns away from the flash as well. But this is a hard eco. So they don't really have that firepower, and Shoxy, he should be able to farm up some good money here. This is going to turn into a full stack on the B site, however, for Cloud9. Skadoodle and Automatic have now rotated over. Skadoodle still has that flash as well, and so that could go right in here to Plateau, and you can see them holding close. This might be the game plan here, but Shoxy, quick enough to react, finds the first headshot on Shroud and the follow-up on Stewie.
Skadoodle will finally take him out, but not that much of a loss. Nice job on Body. He actually got tagged in the face, so that could have been an AK in the hands of Cloud9. It just ends up not being so. And Automatic is about to be closed in from the doors as well. Out in the open, and Apex running and gunning with the MAC-10 actually not connecting at all. Kenny to close out the round, but really, they only lose the 2 MAC-10s, and that's not a big issue. 10 rounds for G2 to the 8 of Cloud9. Now they get rifles, and this is where you want the success. This is the big test for Cloud9 in the second half.
All right, Skadoodle, do you go for Kevlar, or do you prioritize nades here? You can get a full set.
Yeah, I think he went for Kevlar. I think that's fine. I don't mind that decision.
No, some feel-good frags there for Body. Always fun to get the eco frags. But yeah, Kevlar, flash for Scomp. Decent nade count. Shroud, still a fan of using the MP7. Well, very quick here. Skadoodle going to be under pressure at A-long already. Looking to rush him down. Apex mid-air. It's a duck hunt. Finds the one. Gets the second. He's even got the setup for the third. It's Skadoodle. He's a monster. All 3 kills. G2 trying to do the best they can to run him down, but they just aren't good enough. And Stewie with the headshot on Shoxy as well on the other side of the map. Okay, then. That's refreshing to see.
Exactly the kind of sniping that we need out of Skadoodle. So beautiful. Close range, combat AWP. And NBK is going to be found by Automatic eventually. That's the round for Cloud9. He's looking zoned in as well.
Just like these guys, man. They just keep running at me. Just keep running at me. Aren't they going to learn? He just looks so unfazed, Tyler. He just looks so unfazed.
It's just his style, isn't it? You know, he's got like his own brand in that sense, you know. Cloud9 should, you know, export that better.
Oh yeah, I mean, the many faces of Skadoodle.
I just love it.
Use that vintage meme.
Just the all-American sniper, isn't he?
Look at this. I mean, this first shot is not easy either. Boom. But just him playing the angles, he's so close to danger.
How does he not go down after this? It's so ridiculous.
He's so good at playing the angles there. Like, it would be so easy to get caught on an edge and then you're dead, right? But he just manages to get right back into danger again. And that's exactly how you have to do it.
Maybe one of the most important rounds so far for Cloud9, that one. Yeah. Their economy would have been broken. G2 would have jumped to 12 rounds. It would have made for a really big gap in the scoreline. And now instead, G2's economy is looking a bit weird. Chance for Cloud9 to overtake them again here and really do a good job. We'll see how it plays off here. The 20th round. This is such a big match. Both these teams, you feel, could make it all the way through to the playoffs. It's definitely likely. Cloud9 have just been on an upward trajectory lately, and now everyone's getting interested. You're thinking, how far can it go? When is it going to stop? Are they going to keep playing this well? It's very, very exciting. Get a bit of a stack over here towards A-Long, and a bit of a sandwich between automatic and nothing.
I mean, the fact that they make the finals of one of the biggest lands of the year.
Yes.
That's huge. Now it's all about the major here, and there is going to be the trade, the crossfire setup, and automatic. He manages to clean up behind nothing. Nothing doing his part of the work as well. Body trying to rotate it to pick up the bomb, but they flambe it before he can get there. And shoxi getting blinded white.
Luckily, C4 can't be set up by a fire. Need electricity somewhere. It's the only thing that works.
It's weird though, right? But it goes boom.
It does.
And so, fire. You know, usually that's how it works.
Shots and body. This is one of those rounds, especially because the time that's left, you're only going to be able to turn it if Cloud9 make a really big mistake, and they're not. They're so far back on the bomb sites. You don't have time to go and hunt for all the positions, so there's the first frag coming in, automatic going down. Shock still fighting with 10 seconds left. He's going to turn around for the headshot, but he's almost out of time and half health as well. Going to go and try and see if he can pick up the bomb. 4 seconds. He's going to have just... Oh, he's actually going to fake it and go for the fight. He takes one. Probably hoping they double peek him then. And Shox with the triple, still losing the round. Gotta be careful.
We saw him there at the end, like, woo! Definitely cutting it close.
Oh man, I wish we could pause the game and go into Shox. I want to know, did he sort of fail to plant the bomb because he was shuffling around, or did he intentionally think they're going to double peek me from the truck? I will, because obviously he can't fake it once it's 4 seconds, so it would make sense for them to double peek him, in fact. And then this happens. 10-10, scoreline is tied up here now. There's no end to the excitement. AK left on Shock that he saved from the previous round. Everybody else has got nearly nothing here. Cloud9, although only 2 survived the last round, they are building a pretty good economy on the CT side. Starting to get up there. 18 kills on automatic, 16 on Shocks.
Yeah, 18 is really the man you can count on for Cloud9. Always seems to show up, always seems to do the damage. But we've seen some strong rounds from others as well. This is all about shoxi though with that AK. Can he get himself into a position where he can be effective with it? You see a lot of talking here from shoxi. This is reminding me almost of like Existence, where it's just, you know, slow it down and use this as like a mini timeout. Bit of discussion, but now the push is going to be coming through, taking the pistols into drop. I like it. And Apex has managed to get just a little bit of control here. Until I say that, Shroud is there to shoot him in the back, and the HE gonna be able to get the kill.
A good way to get started. Stewie doing a lot of damage, and a nice transfer there with the M4. Shutting it all down. Shox needed the distraction to get out on the plateau, and now that he's finally here, it's just way too open. Stewie finding a kill. Nice shot from NBK. Stewie gonna be obviously upset at that one, but it won't matter. It's still the American side picking up 11-10. Even though there's no audience yet, Samurai, no crowd, I can still hear the faint USA, USA chant in the back of my mind. Even if you're at home in your room right now and there's no one, just chant it anyway, guys. Just do it.
No reason not to. Doesn't matter. Wake up the neighbors. And then tell them, what? Cloud9 is playing. Turn on your TV. Well, yeah, let's go.
See how this unfolds. G2 are still perfectly in a position to turn this. It could be very quick to turn around here for Cloud9. So now is where you need the hyper focus. They still have timeouts left and everything. I think if they lose even a single round here, Cloud9 might be worth taking the timeout right away so that you close out the whole game. They've got a very big stag, and look at it's all on the sort of towards the drop side here. That's very interesting. This is hard for G2 to break. They need a Molotov on this boost box, otherwise this could run away for them.
so long as nothing doesn't have to worry about drop. A lot of this is going to come down to Shroud. He gets flashed, and as they come jumping through, it's Stewie to hold the line. First point of contact, sprays down 2, and Automatic is there to chime in as well. Shroud still alive, not going to find the last kill, but it's still a 1v2 that should favor his teammates. Skadoodle has everything he needs here. Ooh. Automatic, he definitely doesn't have to worry about anything more.
My God, Kenny. That's the 3rd kill. He's got plenty of time. Making a bit of noise jumping down is unfortunate, because you wonder what kind of math Skadoodle could do behind it. And Skadoodle's afraid to scope as well. It's all very strange right now. A battle of patience. Kenny versus Skadoodle. Both of them snipers. One with the AK though. 30 seconds on the clock, and now Skadoodle's making a move, and so is Kenny. They almost time it perfectly. Kenny's managed to sneak his way past, no longer visible from the drop. Skadoodle's walking right in behind him. 18 seconds. Skadoodle is realizing, but he doesn't want to make any noise at all. The bomb at least will be going down here for Kenny, and now he's in such a good position. A lot of these angles here for Skadoodle are just going to be headshot, and he's going to run all the way out. One big thing is here, Skadoodle has a smoke and a kit, so he's got some utility. If he doesn't go down straight away to Kenny, he might be able to just get the smoke down, but Kenny walking in, long range spray. Somehow Skadoodle lives. Oh no, smoke is going to go up. There's a bounce right on top. He taps it once, then goes for the long play. Kenny doesn't realize that he's not inside the smoke on top. He still gets the kill for the quad, and G2 going to pick it up. What an intense and drawn out 1 versus 1. Such a nice play from Skadoodle though, and now you saw, I mean, he couldn't have known this, but what if he had kept the AWP?
Oh, what if he'd have missed? What if he'd have made it? All the what ifs.
All the what ifs, yeah.
This is so painful as well with how well that was played out from both players. Just all the info, all the mind games.
I actually thought G2 would lose this round just because they didn't get the Molotov onto the boost box. When you, if those people are allowed to stand there while you're pushing into the plateau, they can look over the smoke half the time. I mean, the whole point is that if you Molotov it, and then you're sort of jumping down through broken wall as they're trying to escape the fire, that's the perfect scenario for you. Automatic hearing a lot of footsteps.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of footsteps just going marching past. So the rotation's already coming through. Shroud and Stewie in connector. Shoxy going to be looking to try and find a flank, but nothing is there to find the first frag. Body with the drive-by, and Kenny takes down nothing in the meantime. Man advantage now for G2 going into the plant.
Stewie missing a chance there with the C-Sed. He might not get a second. Oh, underhand throw bouncing right down in the face of Automatic. His ears are going to be ringing. The bomb is down as well. And now follow-up flashbang here. Great communication coming out of G2, making sure they get these kills. And Body to close it out with a Tech-9. A couple of kills for him. And now they're back in the lead. 12-11. This is all just going according to plan. Cloud9 don't have the money. They have to save now. The tide has turned the other way. What is this mad game that we're watching?
It's just shifts. It's like the tide somehow, Anders. You know, comes and goes. One, you know.
I was hoping desperately that you'd go into some sort of explanation about why that was. I was like, please.
Well, there's something about the moon and all that jazz, you know?
Yes.
But really, the main thing here is just that one key round, the clutch from Kenny. It is so hard to come back from that if you are Cloud9, and they just get run over by G2. I do like the G2 go for the aggressive pressure kind of strategy as well to follow up on that, really trying to stomp Cloud9 into the ground. And so now, yeah, you're right, hard ego from Cloud9. And they're right now crossing their fingers and hoping that they will be able to buy fully next round. They might be right on the edge. And so, but that means no AWP for Skadoodle if they do. Cloud9 have been very good about these anti-ecos, though. Look at this. You know, again, the whole idea for them has been stacks. Just getting 4 players over here, 5 players over here, right? When you have the pistols, this is how you have to do it.
Yeah, it's worth taking the gamble because default spreads with nothing at all is usually not a good idea. Now, they are going to get the flank, but I wish I could get very excited. I think this is not going to do anything at all because the problem is the bomb is probably going to go down, and as soon as G2 realize that the first USP is behind them, and Shox just did, they are just going to get mowed down. Oh, the bomb that's dropped, that's a bit awkward, but should be able to fight it back, no problem here. Automatic, going for a couple of shots, and at least they get some kills. That's not bad at all for Cloud9. I mean, maybe better than they could have expected, actually. 13-11, though. They have some money back, and they are going to go for the buy here, but Time is running out for them.
Man, Skadoodle's $50 short of the AWP. That's frustrating when you're an opper. So close to going for the glass cannon. Would have worked as well. The countdown has begun, though, and we're getting into the thick of things here. G2 are getting close enough to grasp this win, 13-11. This is the round, the make-or-break round that will make all the difference here for Cloud9. And Skadoodle, you have 4,700. What is going on? Okay, there's the reset in the round, I guess. I don't know what. Just a little shaky, little shaky.
Just talking, wondering, can I borrow 50 from anybody? No, doesn't work like that.
Loch Ness Monster.
13-11, 25th round here. It's almost unbearable for both of these teams. I think you said it right early on. You sort of want to see both these teams succeed in the group stage. You feel like they've at least given the impression that they could be one of those teams that make the playoffs. And we're not quite there yet. Both teams are 1-1 in the group, so they need to win two more games either way. But one of them is going to be at least a step closer here within a couple of rounds. It's nearing the edge. And for Cloud9, it's looking questionable. I'm hardly worried about their weaponry. I'm more worried about their overall economy. If they lose now, then G2 almost close out the map. But again, the French very aggressive in taking this part of the map, making a lot of noise, setting up for some grenades. And how are they going to deal with this? Automatic and Skadoodle are the ones holding the bomb site with Shroud close by.
Yeah, Shroud is ready to rotate over. He's going to be at balcony very quickly here. This is on Skadoodle to pick up the first kill, and he does do that. Now it's about staying alive. NBK survives with 2 HP, but automatic, he's still here to hold the line. Apex doing the best he can to buy time for his teammates to rotate in, and sure enough, it will work, but Shroud finds a kill of his own, and this is just back and forth, tit for tat between both of these teams.
Skadoodle. I wanted him so badly to fall back from that angle. Now Shroud is going to get caught shots with a nice headshot, and nothing very Sen in the beginning of this game. Now would be a good time to step it up, but he's going to be shot down right at the edge of the smoke as well. Apex doing a great job and getting a 14th round here for G2. It's, oh man, it's so hard because once he gets that first kill, if he could just back off long enough, they have such a big lead. Now what are we seeing out of Cloud9?
The half buy. Very. Half buy, man. They're going to go for overtime.
Yeah.
This is not what I was expecting to see. Because they have a few of them that were up at like 3 grand, etc. So to go for it, to say, you know what, we are going to run it back. I like this play here from Cloud9.
Things are drawing to an end here for them. It's pretty much now or never. If you're going to go for the Deagle, either a Nothing or Shroud, then make it an active one. Why not go for a peek somewhere? Why not try and see if you can sneak it in? Waiting around for a long time? I'm not sure I'm buying that particular approach. There is a big stack here. Looks like Automatic wants to join the rest as well. And G2, they've been pretty good at playing against this kind of setup for Cloud9 so far. And maybe they could do it again. The smokes are down, trying to clear out the most common positions. Nothing, looking for one shot there and not really connecting yet. Stewie close range with the P250, getting a kill. Shroud as well, picking up the M4, but he can't get the kill. Automatic gets one, and now it's all or nothing again. Just like the previous round, they know where he is with the Deagle. They've already heard it ring out, and Shox will get the frag. Very well done for the French, although it's getting scary for a moment. That's 15-11. That's match and map point here with G2.
It just felt like you start running at the Bastion. That's how that plateau starts. It turns into a fortress at that point.
Yes.
Hey, if you're trying to run down G2 when they have nothing but headshot angles, you have the harder shot to hit. They get to spray you down. And so Cloud9, there was a glimmer of hope there, but I think they might have pulled the trigger a bit too quick, or just got a little bit too excited instead of trying to wait and see if G2 would hang themselves. But now Anders, look, Young Stu with the op. Young Stu! Oh no, it's Skadoodle at long. He has the angle waiting for Apex.
Very dangerous position, but he's already proven that he can do this. Body sneaking in so that his shadow doesn't show. He's gonna instead offer up himself in entirety. Skadoodle's happy to take that kill. He's got some backup as well, so they can't easily edge in on him. Automatic hearing some of the footsteps at least. I feel like everyone right now is a Cloud9 fan is just gonna be holding their breath thinking, maybe overtime? Is it doable? G2 don't have that much money. It's definitely doable.
It certainly is. There could be a buy in the next round. If Cloud9 somehow managed to chain 2 together, we're right back at square one. We could have Cloud9 running this back for overtime, and G2 have not shown great strength when it comes to the mental game over the past several weeks. Absolutely possible that they lose the thread here and allow G2, or allow Cloud9 rather, to come back into it. They have rotated off of A though, and this is a great call from G2. It's only nothing and Stewie over here defending the B site.
Yeah. Masking the drop with the AK. Stewie, luckily for him, moved out of the chicken coop. They have grenades to get rid of him, but timing couldn't be better there. Kenny's going to be going down, and then the smoke going up behind. A lot of trouble now for the French side. 25 seconds, and MBK gets dropped by automatic shocks. Even if he gets a frag here, it's probably not going to be enough. 30 health on him, and in a 1 versus 4, walking into a huge crossfire. So easy peasy. Skadoodle with a double kill. 12-15, and the money for G2. They can still buy in this next round, but it's gonna be getting very thin after this. Apex probably has to drop for MBK, and they just want to close out this game.
Oh yeah, they want to end it right here. But the nade count is going to be just a little bit low, and they won't have that AWP, it looks like. Apex dropped an AK for NBK instead of dropping. He had 7,000. He could have dropped the AWP for Kenny. Not even that. Didn't even drop for MBK. MBK just taking the hit.
That's very interesting.
Where did the money go?
Still has it. Stewie, back by chicken coop, probably guessing that they can't have too many grenades, so this position becomes so much more valuable if you can make that calculation and say, well, they probably can't grenade me out. Are they going to realize that Shox is already this far pushed up, though? Oh my god, this could be a godlike push from him. I don't think they realize, and Shox, a bit of an opening. Someone has to help out a little bit, Stewie, otherwise it's going to get run down. Oh, what a flick from Shox! But Stewie's there with the refrag. Shox could have cracked off for the whole game here. Shroud is going to be getting the kill on MBK, and now overtime is looking increasingly likely. Apex and Kenny are pushing aside, but the bomb is all the way on the other side, so what is the plan here?
Rotate back Kenny and allow for Apex maybe to make a play into connector. 50 seconds left on this clock, though, means that there is a lot of time here for them to work with at least. Apex can be patient about this. The one thing, though, well, he does have 1 smoke, and they have 2 flashes between the 2 of them.
If they win a 2v4 to close out the game, that would certainly be exciting. Good smoke there. That's the first step in the right direction. Now they need at least 1 kill to get the bomb plant down. Flashbang goes over and out. Apex gonna get shot in the back of the head, and that should cancel out here. 20 seconds. Kenny fighting on top of the bomb site, but they're coming in from every which angle, and he goes down to Stewie. Good double kill for him in the round. 13-15, 1 step closer, but more importantly than that, G2, no more money really. They've got the bomb plant. Maybe they could have went for a crazy force here. Now I would say, don't do it. Get the last round in. Try and see if you can't make it work. Apex is going to go for the AK, but he had... Oh, they're going to do it anyway, aren't they?
I think they're half buying Anders. I think
yeah, Apex had a lot, right.
So we're still in a situation where G2 now are the ones who have to trust in their ability to bring it back.
Is it really worth it for Apex to go full AK armor?
When he could have dropped an AWP for Kenny, perhaps.
Yeah, in the next round, right?
Yeah.
It's a judgment call, obviously, but it means after this round, if they don't win it, then Apex is going to be severely handicapped. I can't make that call. It's way too complicated at this point in time. 15-13, and we're in the 29th round. And if Cloud9 win this, then G2 won't have very much either to fight with, and maybe they could get all the way to overtime. We'll see what the French can show us here.
I see a lot of discussion from Apex, but it's Shoxy who has the 2 flash grenades that are going to create the opening here for his teammates. So what's the setup? They're just waiting so patiently. Apex, though, takes the fight. Nothing was holding the angle. They know that he's close, though, so they can communicate, but that sets it up for Stewie to find a shot for free.
Nothing goes down, but a lot of focus right now on the American side. Stewie will get the kill on Shox, and Kenny goes down as well. Stewie with a very good round once again. 14-15. It's gone the full distance, all 30 rounds being put into play here. And now the only question is, can G2 finally put an end to the madness, or is it going to continue into overtime? There's really nobody to tell at this point in time. There's certainly the weaponry and the rifles are heavily favoring Cloud9. The Some grenades here, not everything that they could want on G2, but it's not that far off, and just a UMP on Apex, so I've got a fighting chance here in the last round. Let's see what happens.
Just, if you look at the scoreboard, it's just the fight, the battle between the stars right now. Stewie and Automatic leading the way for Cloud9. Kenny S and Shoxy leading it for G2. Such an even match between both of these teams. What a joy. And well, slow pace coming in from G2. For now, Skadoodle setting himself up with the flash. Now he's got the angle. It will force G2 to have to use some utility to actually get him out of here, because if you don't, or he misses the shot, that too is an option. He is human after all.
A bit scary. He's very good at hitting shots like that. Double peek, and especially I think the wide peek from Apex, meaning he was just a bit too quick. So now they fall back. They lose quite a bit of map control. Still leaving Automatic over by that wall, ready and waiting in case anyone is going to come in. This is definitely not risk-free. For one thing, people very commonly peek that angle, but also you can easily get flashed, and if he gets flashed and falls back, it's not like Skadoodle can do a lot to help him out, so... Down to under 50 seconds, and there's Stewie opener up, taking down Shox. That's a huge kill. Think about how much information Stewie has about where the rest of G2 definitely are not.
NBK is in connector already, though. He's blocked off 3 players from joining up on A. So there's a window here. 35 seconds left. And now's the time to go. And there's the big frag from NBK. Nothing and Stewie are cut off. And the rest of G2 can now just go straight onto the A site. And it's all going to be on Automatic and Skadoodle.
Oh my god, this is a hero play.
Dude,
but
20 seconds.
Yeah, they need to go right now. Otherwise, these 2 players might just make it work. NBK's coming to try and see if he can backstab them on the side. 15 seconds. There's Skadoodle with one. Automatic as well. Where's NBK? He needs to crack it open once again. He's done so much already, but he needs to do just a bit more. 8 seconds, and he goes down to Automatic, and Body's going to get dropped, and it's overtime between Cloud9 and G2. I mean, you can't fault NBK for that. He did everything he needed to in that one. That's such brilliant play. But in effect, he needed to do even more. Like, it's a lot to ask, but
how do you deal with Automatic and Skadoodle, though? It's just Automatic is just a force of nature.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
G2 is too much hesitation at the end when it came to actually executing, and like MBK just did everything he could, catching Shroud, followed by nothing. He's cut off that rotation for so long, and yet still G2, they don't actually execute until they have so little time for error, so little room for error. Yeah, and Automatic is just unbelievably good. Yep.
We're not really laughing at him, but I think, you know, this is just one of the best things about this game is all of that emotion that's sort of pent up in there. And now, and this is actually this is a real strain on people. You know, they fight all 30 rounds, and then it's not even done yet. They have to keep going. Flick actually does hit Body. And looks like Stewie wants to keep going. And he's been quite lethal with the AWP over here, but not lethal enough to take down Shox. He was boosted up on the box, going to hit the headshot.
Why is he not getting support? Why is there no flash there to facilitate that? You can flash that for days. Instead, he decides to just take the fight on his own. Small mistakes like that are what could cost you here if you're Cloud9.
Very dangerous for Jordan to be taking that fight through the smoke. You don't want to lose the first round in overtime here to that mistake. They leave, drop open, and Apex going to come running through. Takes one and a second. Can't quite get the third, but he will have done enough at this point in time. Have to imagine G2 can smoke this off and just get in and get the bomb down clean. Long-range Molotov, but not lucky with the shot, so...
And this is what you have to point out here. The difference in overtime rules. This 10K starting money here on the CT side. And so this is why Cloud9, they're going to start backing off because they cannot afford to just throw away rifles. Especially if you're Skadoodle. You want to save that AWP. Same for Automatic. Because if you lose the following round, then you're going to be ecoing in the last one pretty much. And so right now, it's very important for Skadoodle and Automatic to just stay alive. Well, no trouble for Automatic. I mean, he makes it look easy. But, you know, for Skadoodle.
Yeah. Big risk being taken by Cloud9, but honestly, on the CT side, I don't really mind it. Like, I think Stewie should be fighting for plat control. It's just that when he doesn't win the fight, then nothing is alone on the bomb side covering drop and plateau, and he just can't do that.
Well, I mean, there's yeah, okay, he needs to take fights, but you can very easily ask for a flash. That position in particular, you just throw it over the nothing, throws it over the wall, and then he's got the angle. Look at the long drawn-out battle we saw earlier, right? Where all the flashes were getting used for each opera to be able to get that angle. So like, I understand Stu, you know, wants to go for that fight, but one $200 flash grenade and Shoxy could be dead, and we could be looking at a different outcome for that round. And so they trail now in overtime, Cloud9. They ran it back. They kept their cool and were able to take it to the full 30 rounds. But G2 now, they're in the lead.
Let's see what they could do here. Double AWP still in play on Cloud9. Kenny very aggressive, and he's going to go down to Stewie instantly with a Molotov here to make sure that no one is going to be funneling into the bomb side. Shroud winning the fight against NBK. Surely this is an easy round to close out. 3 versus 5. Then you have everything going your way.
Both teams, both offers going for the big plays. This time it's Kenny who gets slapped and NBK to follow. Apex now going to try and see bait any kind of response out here. Get somebody on Cloud9 to make a mistake, but Shroud is playing this very patiently indeed.
Just trying to shoulder peek that angle. Apex has made his way down, and you have to assume that would have been called out. Must have been a bit of noise, and certainly now he's making some. Spray comes in, but Stewie having no trouble hitting that shot, and I don't think they're realizing that nothing is also there. So Shox is alone, and also trapped in the corner. Now they're just hunting for him. A little bit of a backstab coming in as well.
To try to keep all the attention on himself, perhaps,
Yeah.
but automatic. A flawless hold for Cloud9. 16-16. We're all tied up again.
Yeah, they've got double AWP and 3 AKs. That's sort of a dream if you're on the CT side. Like, you can't get much better than that. This is a huge win for Cloud9. It's been, you can tell it's been difficult for these teams to pick up rounds on the CT side. So when they can get just 1 in overtime, remember you're only playing 3 CT rounds, so just getting 1 out of 3 is really big. They can get the next one too, that might just be enough here. Cloud9 still fighting. And who's going to break first? This is one of those games that is really, really going to cause a lot of stress on all of the players.
Absolutely, when the major is on the line. Far too close for comfort. But I mean, young Stu has been stepping up with that AWP, and Skadoodle's holding aggressively over towards A long, and that's probably where the action is going to be. Does Apex walk into it? No, he's taking the time to set up some nades. There's the follow-up and the leg shot onto Kenny. Scott, that was so close. Kenny counting his lucky stars there. But again, they're not using like the utility to actually just set it up with the flashes. Instead, they are, over A long at least, they trust in just throwing themselves bodily out there and hoping that Scott doesn't hit the shot.
Shox hoping he can get the timing though. Oh my god, Shroud? Well, okay then. Shox has got to be just wondering at that point in time what the hell is actually going on. Now they're in trouble though, G2. Kenny's low. There's only 40 seconds left. They can't really swap back to A. They sort of have to keep pressing this, and Apex is now down the drop. But Stewie here, how did they get him away from the statue? That's the big problem. Now the grenades are starting to rain in. 30 seconds on the clock, and Cloud9 are circling the bomb site. Body gets a bullet to the face, and Apex is now gone down. Kenny next in line. Stewie doing everything that he can here. Triple for him. He's been a monster in overtime. He's now past the 30 kill mark. I think he's dropping, what, like 31 kills in overtime. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, with automatic right behind him at 27. The 2 heavy hitters for Cloud9, the 2 stars of the team, and really, it's fascinating to see, especially from Stu. It's been such a progression from him. The fact that, I mean, he was brought in as the youngster, expecting to learn, and then there's like, actually, no, can you please call? And the fact that he had to just take that on himself and still try to maintain a competitive level. Now we're finally starting to see him and Tim and automatic.
There was a sort of a brief moment in time. Look at that. That's amazing. There was a brief moment in time when he made his appearance on the stage first, when people were sort of joking about it. It was sort of, you know, oh, he's just running through smokes, you know, it'll never work on LAN, you know, once he gets into the real competition, he's not going to be able to do any of that. And people aren't making any jokes anymore. That died out real quick when people found out just how powerful a player he is. Second half of the overtime coming at. Cloud9 needs 2 more rounds to win it. G2 needs 3. I could have double OT as well. Always a fun feature. Skadoodle hoping that someone is going to go aggressive, and Shox is on the stairwell but not quite offering himself up. See that angle being covered, that line there. Nothing quite yet, so no risks being taken by G2 at all.
No, Apex is the one who's kind of dancing on the edge. But that's just to put down the smoke and buy a little bit more time over here. But that's not where the action is going to be. It's looking like a B hit. Minute left. Automatic making the jump, covering the drop noise with the AK. Nicely timed. And here's the push straight out onto the side through the smoke. And this could get interesting. Body, now he has to worry about 2 angles.
Automatic is waiting patiently. Communication is key right here. Shox in a weird battle. He goes down. Body on the side that's going to get dropped. And now Kenny has to get this next shot to flick us in. And he takes down Stewie. That's a great job. They're in the man lead here, G2. They just need a couple of more kills, and they'll be right back in this game. Apex with a great flank coming in. Nothing doesn't stand a chance. And Skadoodle going to be going down. Kenny with the double. 17-17. They tie it all up. And this game is just too intense right now. I can't believe we're being gifted this. Shoxy with 25 kills, topping the lead right now. And I think he just got tied up with Kenny, in fact. So 25 on either one. This is... what a ton of events this is.
It's still possible for Cloud9 to lose this. Look at the impact this is having on their bank right now. Everything getting spent in this next round. 17-17. We're looking for the first team to reach 19 here. And right now, it's going to be a very quick, aggressive play from Skadoodle, or at least he was thinking about it until it turned into a bit of a hothouse, the sauna in there. Apex and Kenny again with the aggressive setup at A long, though. This seems to be standard for them at this point. Thing is, they just don't go for the peek anymore. We used to see CTs, you know, dare to go for the peek towards T-spawn, try and like make some plays over there. It's all just about holding this one angle now, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it just isn't worth it. I think if you go down, Shox getting caught by Shroud again through the smoke, just like in Drop a couple of rounds ago. Shox has got to be furious at this point in time here. 4 versus 5. And being a man down, especially on the B-bomb side, is a catastrophe.
He's heard 2 now, NBK. He's heard 2, and so he's been communicating that, and he is going to be ready. Automatic just does not have the angle. So NBK can peel off, and Apex, that's nothing, the kill on nothing on A site, other side of the map. And so now, again, 3 players here for Cloud9 just inching out. They have utility, but they continue to try and press forward. Shroud will find the headshot on Body. There's the Molotov getting used, but Skadoodle's about to get shot in the back here in just a moment.
Yeah, they're getting real close. Oh, Kenny showing his arm. AWP fight without scoping, and Kenny's gone down. It's now a 2-on-2. Skadoodle trying to make it through. Only 20 seconds here, and Shroud, now would be a great time to step it up. He fakes it once, 18 seconds, almost gets Apex through the door. And he's trying again, tapping away. Shroud gets 1. 2 health left on Apex. Oh my god, he's got the triple, he's got the bomb found with 9 seconds left. And Apex is scared right now, hiding behind the rock. He's already been faked out once. Shroud needs a single bullet to do this. But no, Apex gonna steal it back instead. And that will be another round here coming in. The smoke is gonna, or the Molotov is gonna disappear. The defuse is gonna be in. It's gonna be 18 rounds. Again, match point here for G2. It can't get any closer than that. One more bullet, a splinter from that door. If it hits Apex, he's dead.
It's unbelievable how close it can get. And there's the timeout from Cloud9. And they get the bomb plant. At least they have that to go with here in the next round. They have the bonus 800. But how close can you cut it? 2 HP left on Apex. And Shroud nearly pulling it off on Cobble. He's so comfortable on this map, it seems, Shroud. I mean, blind shots through the smoke, fair enough. But then when it comes down to clutch situations, it seems like he's finally figuring out how to unlock that potential that's been in him this whole time. But Apex, yeah, wipe the sweat off your brow. It's not over yet, though. And Cloud9, we saw them do it in regulation where they ran it back and took this match to overtime. Well, now they need to do it once again. 18-17, G2 in the lead.
It's just such a powerful round from Shroud. Nearly the quad kill, but just unbelievable. And Apex, he looked like he couldn't believe it either. Kenny's so fired up, he has to stand up. Can't stay seated any longer. 18-17, ladies and gentlemen. One more round for G2. They're going to make it out in overtime, or it's going to be double OT if Cloud9 can make it back here. They do have the Tech 9 there on Skadoodle's head. Their economy has suffered a bit, and finally we're actually seeing some aggression on the A side. Shox is in charge of at least trying to scope up over the smoke, but that's maybe the most aggressive move we've seen on this side of the map yet from the CT side.
Yeah, it's Kenny with that AWP who's going to be playing the plateau. I guess Shox is just tired of B. He's like, Shox, Shroud just keeps shooting me through smoke. Actually, Kenny, so you go ahead and take those spots. It's nice to be the game leader. It's good to be the king.
Damage has already been done to Cloud9 a bit here. And look at this aggression. G2 just want to try and see if they can throw in a bit of a trick towards the end. It'll certainly keep Cloud9 back for a while. Now they have to be wondering, we heard the footsteps, we heard some shots coming out. What's going on?
You start to see body, NBK, there was a moment's doubt, moment wondering which side they needed to be on, but now it seems like they've got their heart set on that B side. NBK is working his way back over towards A, but body is now there to set up a trap with Kenny on plateau. They have, what, one Molotov right now, and it's on Skadoodle.
Oh, I just want Kenny to go over the wall bang. Because you can shoot people when they're up there.
Yeah.
Stewie and everybody else, they can get fired through the wall. Oh, Apex gets one! And then nanosecond later, he is done. Automatic with the refrag. Kenny trying to get back, but he's flashed. He can't see a single thing, and he's going to be down now. It's Body taking 2 big frags, going for the spray, and that's it. 19-17, G2 make it through in overtime against Cloud9. What an incredibly stressful match for everybody involved. But ultimately, it will be G2 made their way through their scoreline now. 2-1 in the groups. They just need one more game. Man, that was everything we could have hoped for and then some.
Absolutely. The emotions show it all. I mean, says it all. Cloud9 definitely going to be disappointed with that loss. They could have brought it back. They did bring it back. They could have closed it. And then G2 just, they came out ahead today. And so a very important win here for G2, putting them ahead in the groups, 1 map away.
Definitely see a bit of the disappointment in them, and you can't blame them for that either. They fought very hard to try and close that out. 32 kills on Stewie, 28 on automatic, and I mean, I think there was what, like 25 or something on Kenny on the other team. So that was the 25 on Kenny and Shocks. So those 2 players, Stewie and automatic, were really fighting to keep this alive.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like the others were lagging too far behind either. You know, everybody else is in 20 frags.
Yeah,
which I mean is very solid. And so we were just talking about it, a very even matchup between 2 teams who have similar firepower, similar star talent. And really just, yeah, at the end, it comes down to 2 HP. 2 HP, Anders. Sometimes that's how close it gets.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Well, just some reflection going on here. Automatic wondering, you know, should I've got 40 kills? Would that have been the difference? You know, maybe that should have been the plan.
That's only Tab sitting cold.
Ooh, yeah. This is a wild game, and you could see why we were saying that both these teams could make the playoffs. They're both looking like it. And luckily, Cloud9 aren't out. But they can't lose any more games.
They have to know that they're capable of it as well, right? Because both of these teams made the playoffs in Cologne just a week ago. Nearly equal competition. The only real team that wasn't there out of the top tier was Astralis, right? And so you got a good gauge on just where they were at. And so both of these teams, if they do not make it out of the groups, they will see that as a tremendous failure, as just a huge mess up. And so, you know, we'll see. It's not over yet. 3 wins, you're through. 3 losses, you go home. And both of these teams are sitting in the middle of the pack.
Well, the panel thought this would be a good game, and it turns out they were right. So I look forward to seeing their thoughts on this particular game. What a game it was, Paul. Were you guys entertained?
I was more entertaining than a Robbie Williams concert. It was brilliant. 1917, a win in the end for G2, and Cloud9 fall to 1 and 2 now in a very dangerous set of teams in there, amongst them a Na'Vi as well. So that group is not looking good for all of the teams that have dropped down to 1-2. But good news for G2 as we come back to our panel once more with Sponge.
Just one thing, Paul.
Yes?
You went to Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
I went to Russell Crowe.
Let me entertain you.
Yeah.
I did the
Gladiator
Gladiator.
movie.
Are you entertained?
entertained?
Yeah. There may be a difference in style here.
There's
we
two
may
kinds-
have identified something.
2 kinds of people in this world.
No, but that was a great game of Counter-Strike.
It was, wasn't it? Enjoyable. We were sitting here going, oh, no, yeah, well, I do.
That's
yeah,
what you
it was
want,
tough,
right?
tough for us to watch. What it was like for them to play, I have no idea.
I think C9, their T side, was very impressive in the sense of they played like a very old-school Na'Vi-esque style of Counter-Strike, right? They were doing things with like 20, 30 seconds left on the clock. Very late round executes onto bomb sites. I like the fact that they got drop control early, and that was the heart of their T side, I thought. I didn't think they utilized it enough, and then I don't think they had enough transition of pace.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the dagger for them towards the end of that was the fact that G2 got so good at handling that pressure from drop. That's where all the initiating came on, and you could see NBK as this game progressed. He started winning that battle against automatic. He started catching on to the different ways he was taking drop, knowing where he was, the feeling of each kind of play. So he was able to really get the better of it, and it did feel like both teams had tough times on their CT side. G2 managing drop, and Cloud9 on their CT side managing long A. I mean, you could see here Skadoodle's playing aggressively. There was one other round where he played aggressively there, but outside of that, once their economy is broken, there was no aggression towards that A bomb site, which allowed G2 a lot of space to just kind of walk up, slowly take control, and execute with like a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, they really pressured that A-long section of the map, right? Like the difference is we saw that Skadoodle round just before where they got that 3K. They weren't afraid to go to that section of the map time and time again, even though they did get shut down. And they got shut down the following round by an awesome crossfire by Nothing and Automatic. So definitely props to Cloud9. They played a really good brand of Counter-Strike, and I'm super impressed. But G2, I wouldn't say that like they outshot them. In some situations, I know that's what Valens was saying in the pre-game interview, but sure, there were some occasions where Cloud9 kind of just crumbled and just got picked apart. But I think the trading was fantastic by the guys from G2. The way that they adjusted, like Jason was saying, NBK at drop especially, the fact that when they knew it was late round, they had to be coming out long with the bomb, right? So they were playing so many numbers towards the statue, fighting platform, making sure they couldn't get out, making sure they couldn't get that bomb down. It's just these little adjustments from G2 that I think got them across.
Especially that Troy, we saw it a little bit in overtime, that it's starting to be aggression in CT side towards the A bomb site. Not to try and find kills necessarily, but just to confirm that no one was there, because Cloud9 didn't really put up a lot of pressure on it in regulation. So once they were like, okay, yeah, there's no one here, like 30, 40 seconds into the round, let's just go back towards B, stack that up with 4 players, and then we can rotate quickly if there's any pressure. But yeah, it was the adaptations in the end that I think G2 just did better once they got to OT.
Close game all the way through, wasn't it? Until
that
actually,
shroud clutch.
Yeah, exactly. That one
heartbreaking, isn't it?
Just so close, and you just think, oh wow, this could
I think
spin
that's
it one way or the
that's
other.
the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
it.
Yeah, it is the one.
No, but we sat down here at the analyst desk, and that's what we said, right? We were like, the game was
initially
close.
it was the Kenny S 1v1, wasn't it?
That was crazy as well.
Because that turned it around as well for G2.
That was right at like 10-10, I think, or something like that. Right around
10 to 10-11, something like that, yeah. And they went on a run, and it got to 15-11. You sort of thought, this could be tough for Cloud9 again. But they showed great character to come back in.
Yeah, but you can see, I mean, this is kind of what we talk about when we say how important the economy is, because in the first half, when Cloud9 went on the run as the Terra side, is when G2 switched into the double op setup. And right when they switched into it, they lost that round, and they just didn't have economy. They had to wait for the losing bonus to build back up before they could get another solid buy going on. And that's where you kind of see them not able to switch things up and not able to figure out how to handle drop, because you don't have nades, you don't have Molotovs to slow it down, like we saw later on in the half. And then on the reverse side, Cloud9, once they got reset, they didn't touch A halls, and then eventually when they got that losing bonus built up, they switched into the double op setup, and that's what brought them into OT. Stewie was a monster with that off at the B bomb side. He was anchoring, he was paying attention to drop, he was being bait for his teammates all at the same time, and the presence of mind to still be able to get the frags when the execute comes in is insanity from a player that young.
All right, let's bring in Nathan. MBK is waiting in the player area to join us. Nathan, welcome to the show, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
It looked tough from our point of view. We were sitting here just wincing sometimes at some of the shots that were being pulled off.
Yeah.
What was it like from your point of view?
Definitely a tight game. We're expecting to play Inferno over Cobble.
Right.
They decided to go for it. We absolutely have no problem on that map to play it, but they came in very, very prepared. So yeah, the game was as tense as it looked like.
Yeah, it was all very tight until the end, and then you guys have 4 match points. And you think, well, G2 should close this one out now, and then somehow Cloud9 just kick up another gear.
Yeah, it was pretty hard recording the economy. We had 1 force, like 2 buy rounds, 1 force, and 1 single AK buy from Apex. So it was not that easy to close it, especially when they had some ops and they could just pick us apart. And that's basically what happened during the late stage of the regular time. But I mean, all in all, it was a tough fight, and you could see with like the tight one-on-ones that went into our favor. So those close rounds at this level are just deciding the outcome of the game.
Yeah, we mentioned a couple of those. Shroud had one, and Kenny had one as well. They just seem to change the tide of the game sometimes, don't they?
Well, especially economy-wise. When we win the one that Kenny had at 11-10, we were, I think, double eco behind, or they were single double eco behind as well. So those kind of rounds are like making a game, and that's why we managed to go into overtime and not lose beforehand. Yeah,
we saw you celebrate very hard at the end. Was that relief coming out, or what was it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we feel like the favorite team coming on that map, so we have that pressure. And we had a pretty shaky city side, although we started pretty good. But then, yeah, it was a tough T side. Like, it was hard to find the solutions, and when we tried to come up with some things, the ops just came in and starting like picking us up, and we were 4 and 5, or some weird timings that were on the map. So it was definitely a very hard match, and yeah, coming out of that game, you can only be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Alongside me is Moses and Sponge. I guess you guys have a couple of questions.
Yeah, just can you speak to a lot of the offense from Cloud9 was towards drop, which you were defending, and I know that's generally considered by pros to be one of the most difficult spots in the game to actually defend. But it seemed like towards the end, after a while, you kind of got the hang of it. You kind of started to be able to feel how they were attacking it exactly, and actually came on the upper hand. Can you just speak to what it's like throughout the course of a half, progressing through and like reading what's coming from your opponents?
Yeah, that was definitely to me, the most important thing of our city side, the ability to adapt in that area, and the special harder part is that I have absolutely no help from my team.
Why are you always alone?
Scumbags leaving you alone.
So I mean, I take that responsibility to actually hold it, and I'm like, don't worry, guys, I got it, and I'm just going to tell you if there is somewhere open. So I mean, I just want to make life easier for them.
Right. So it's your own fault then, Nathan.
So it is kind of my fault, but then in the end, I just came in and I understood, like, basically, I think the most interesting aspect of the game is that I managed to put myself into their brains, pretty much. Right. So I knew how they were approaching the area. I knew how they were coming into the zone, and that's what made me come on top in the end when I knew when they were in it, what they were doing. So either there was automatic trying to sneak, so he came once, killed me, and then I killed him twice at that same area. And I just managed to get into their head and know how they play that side of the map, and that's what made the difference for me to actually come on top in drop zone. But it is, I think it just requires experience. That's why also Taz is playing the area. I don't know if he still is, but he was. And I think you just need experience and being able to adapt, as you said earlier, on what the enemies are doing, because every team is going to approach that area differently.
That was my question, so yeah, you answered it already.
Jason's stealing questions now as well. What's going on here?
Why is it you don't get any help? Let's do a follow-up. What? I mean, because we saw at the end, like in overtime, I know you brought Apex over.
He just told us it's because he's selfish and he wants to hold it himself.
He wants all the glory. There's no glory in playing drop zone. We all know that. But like, I mean, you guys brought Apex in that round in overtime. You did bring a second player, but is there a reason like you guys just don't feel comfortable? Like, because we know teams have like the two styles. You can play in it with one or two players, or you can play outside and just try and contain it when the hit comes in. Is there a reason you guys choose to play the more contained strategy?
I think we like to block the extremities of the map. I think that would be the main answer, and I think my team has enough trust in me to actually hold drop alone and do it with my poor smoke and Molotov and just wanting them. I base this part mainly to communication, and I trust them to have where I am missing. So if I have connector, they're gonna have the other side of the map towards B, etc., etc. So yeah, I think they trust me enough to hold that, and it actually makes the other sides of the map free, and they can take more risks and just lock them down. So that's our game plan. That's how we approach it. And I mean, so far since I'm playing drop, I think I could adapt every single time. I haven't been destroyed on that area, so we keep on doing it until it's going to break, I guess.
All right, okay. Are you aware of the other results that have been going on? Have you been managing? I know that you do follow the show as it goes along.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been following everything. Surprising result we faced. Obviously, it's. I'm sad for Kyo because obviously Frenchman, we have a good relationship.
He's British now.
Yeah, yeah. You want to say that? You want to say that?
We claimed him. Sorry, Nathan. You're not having him back. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to bring this up because it's Immortals and North so far in your 2-1 group now, and then obviously Astralis or Fnatic will join that group as well. So do you feel like the field has opened up a bit, other than maybe SK who are just playing out of their minds, and we need to swap Cold Zera's? Well, we just need to get rid of his whole image. I think you can play without a monitor now, and then maybe you can beat them as well. But it seems quite open in the rest of the field.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what is. I mean, we actually had the discussion with the team, with Shox especially right before, but every single team is coming very prepared, and they have their plan. They're following it, and they're just destroying. I mean, for instance, flip side, it was clear cut that they know what they wanted to do, and they just won the game like this. And I think it's the same for almost every team. So, yeah, it doesn't feel like there is the big favorite, unless, I mean, aside from SK that is playing out of their minds. But aside from that, I mean, it seems pretty open, as you said. So that's why it's not really important who we face after all, because every single team can turn up, and the only objective is just passing groups. So that doesn't matter who we play. All the teams are playing good right now, so have to be very careful regardless of who you play.
All right, thanks very much for joining us. Congrats today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
NBK winning alongside G2, of course, today. Let's wrap things up in this particular match, show you the scoreboard, and also talk about the MVP in this particular game. Scoreboard-wise, when you look at the frags, so they're quite high, but obviously we did have the overtime as well, but still, some really big performances across both teams, it has to be said.
I felt more like a grind was coming out from G2 as opposed to like crazy individual performances.
Sure.
I think when you look on the side for Cloud9, it was like automatic early. You know, he was doing a lot of the legwork, and then Stewie really turned up to get them into overtime, and then he was the star in overtime as well, right? Everyone else had their moments, everyone had their multi-frags, the potential clutches, all that kind of stuff, but those two definitely for Cloud9, as you'd expect, the standout performers.
Yeah, an MVP for this one. Kenny S is our MVP for this game. I think that's a reasonable reflection on the damage and the key frags that he picked up in this match.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kenny is a strong player, and with the AWP, I mean, he was pretty versatile with it in the different ways that he utilized it. So, yeah, and like Chet said, it's a grind. So there's not like one standout. I think, you know, for me personally, I also just based on the conversation we just had with NBK, I would have given him a shout for the way that he adapted, because being able to finally manage drop zone was so critical. But yeah, there's a couple answers you could have thrown out on G2, isn't there?
Absolutely. Let's just quickly wrap up on this match in terms of Cloud9's performance, because it wasn't a bad performance at all, and I don't feel like they've had a bad performance, but they've ended up in a 1-2 group, and I have to tell you right now, it's with Na'Vi, mouz, Penta and Flipside. That's not an easy group of teams to have to win against, because they have to win now. That's the point.
Yeah, all those.
Yeah, he's like, oh god.
I was just thinking of all the going through the list. So it's like, let's find an easy one. And it's like even Flipside at this point, you don't want to play after that.
And don't forget, one more from Astralis or Fnatic will also join that.
God bless. Yeah, this is it's going to be a tough road for them, isn't it? Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, because they have played well. You know, outside of getting to overtime against G2, close match, and either of those one-on-ones go a different way. That could have been a different result, and they could have been an easier portion. But yeah, now nothing left. I mean, it's the major, backs against the wall, right?
Absolutely.
All the
every team, as Nathan said, every team is a great team here, and they're all in good form and they're all playing well. So all to play for our teams. We're going to move into our final 1-1 game next. It's Astralis versus Fnatic. Old champs versus new champs, both searching for a bit of form, and also both searching for their second win at the PGL Major. We'll see you after the break.